Some of my favorite things to do in cardistry are fans, and that's what we're going to be learning today. Not your ordinary fan, but this is how to take one fan and split it into two. And no, not like the coiny magician you might have seen at a kid's birthday party. Now, this will be a really cool way to do it, and it's not too difficult. So without further ado, let's get right into the tutorial. Alright, so for this tutorial, we're going to attempt to do the over-the-shoulder view, because I think it's best. And we'll be using the Green Goblin deck by Gemini Playing Cards. So I'll do my best with this angle, but just for you guys, after we do this, I'll show how to do the move briefly with a front view angle. But anyway, getting into the move, it looks like this. You start out with a thumb fan, you're splitting the fan, and then you're going into two separate fans. So there's about three things that we need to break down. We need to break down the thumb fan, then we need to break down the splitting of the fan, then we need to break down this type of fan. So if you guys don't know already how to do the thumb fan, I have a tutorial on my channel. I'll link it down below, but I'll go over it briefly right now for you guys. So you want to hold the deck in your left hand just like this, with your thumb in front, your index in middle, and ring and pinky on back. So it's held like this. You don't want it too deep, but you don't want it too high up. So you want to hold it about right here. Then you're going to take your other hand and come over, tilt the deck back a little bit, so now it's diagonal, and then you're going to spread the cards with your thumb just like that. So in full motion, it looks like that. And you don't want an older deck for this because it is a bit clumpier, but you don't want a new one because that's a little bit too slippery. So one that you've used and broken in just a little bit. So you fan it just like this, and then with your ring finger on the bottom, you're going to pull approximately what you feel like is the halfway mark of the fan, which will be half of the deck. Pull that closer towards you, and that'll start to break off a packet just like this. And you also want to push up with your ring finger here as well, because that'll help split the fan into two packets. And you don't want the cards sticking together, whereas if you just pull it without pulling up, they will stick together and continue a fan. So you spread, you're pulling and pushing up at the same time, then once you see a break here, you're going to insert your thumb and start to close this fan, and now you've broken it into two packets. You're going to break these apart, square them up as much as you can with your hands, and then you're going to put your index finger on the bottom here, same thing here, and you're going to do this fan. Now I forgot what this was called, and I'll put a proper tutorial for it down below because I haven't taught this, but I'll go over it briefly for you guys. And if you know how to do the Carnahan fan, I think it's called, like that, then this will be relatively easy, because you're putting your index finger on the bottom and your thumb is going on top a bit more, and then these fingers are moving out of the way for your index and your middle to just spread these cards. So from the bottom, it looks like that. You're just spreading these cards with your fingers at the bottom, and if you do it in speed, it kind of looks like the fan just appeared out of there. So you spread the cards, you're pulling away and pushing up with your ring at the same time, inserting your thumb, breaking apart these packets, squaring them up, and then putting your index finger down, your thumb's on top, those fingers go out of the way, and you create a fan. This one was pretty bad. And then to close this, you kind of just bring the cards back in with your fingers, pulling them in. And then what you can do after this is you could just set it down, or what you could do is I add on a move that I like to do, where you bring up just like this, you create an X, pull this down, and close it just like that. And if you want to learn that extra move, I'll link it down below. So we'll get this front view angle. You create the fan, you split it, put your thumb in, take the packets, square it up, insert your index on the bottom, your thumb's on top, and then you do the fan. And you can put them together like this, create it kind of like an S fan. It looks kind of cool. And then you close them back up, and you are done. Alright guys, that is the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button and the bell for my weekly videos. If you like this one, be sure to give it a like, leave a comment of whatever you would like, share this video with your friends, and let me know if you enjoyed this fan tutorial, if you'd like to see more fan tutorials in the future, or more packet cut tutorials. Any info on what you prefer really helps me out. I appreciate you watching the video, and I'll see you on the next one. See ya. And I'm gonna take you traveling the world. I can love you.